Hey guys, it's XYZ, and I'm going to be making a video guide on how to become a team manager for an Overwatch team. Now, this is kind of unedited, so it might be rough, but I noticed that there's a lot of people that want to try to become team managers or start their own team as a team captain, and they may not have all the right resources to do so or even know how, so this video is kind of go through all the resources that you need to become a successful team manager. Now, being a team manager for an Overwatch team basically means that you're responsible for the success of your team. So you'll be going over schedules for the team, managing the roster, scheduling the tryouts, marketing the brand, and even looking for opportunities and additional sponsorships for your team. And just making sure the players are generally okay and they're happy with the team and all of that. And just listening to feedback and kind of being that extra person that can listen to them. So, I'm going to go through a few steps on how to do that. The initial thing is you kind of want to find you want to find like why you're wanting to become a team manager first off, because generally you want to have, like, if you're either doing it for just having the experience or trying to find a successful team, you want to figure that out because you want your team to become successful regardless, which means, and the reason I'm saying this is because you want to find teammates that are somewhat dedicated. So the first step is to just find a team that you can manage for or become a team captain for. Now you can either do this by approaching an existing team that already exists that doesn't have a team manager, or you can start a new team with new tryouts and a new roster. And we're going to get into that at first. So basically, if you're a team manager that wants to start his own team and you don't have any players, the first thing you want to do is set out a basic requirements for what kind of players you want to find. Now, here on the OWCraft server, we have a team recruitment channel, so anyone that wants to be a manager, they can fill this out. But basically, you want to look for whatever roles you need for your team, your average SR, like the schedule they're going to play on, what region, and then just any extra details that you might want to require. And there's a bunch of other discords um, for for finding a team, like the Cal League, Gosu Gamers, teams looking for players. So all these teams are recruiting for players. You have Wawa's Boot Camp. There's also a looking for team section. Team Up. So there's a bunch of different discords for finding players for your team. I will make sure to leave all of the resources discussed through this video in the description. So please check the description for all the links that you need. And that's basically the main point, is to show you like what to do and what resources you need. But anyways, you're going to be looking for tryouts for your team, for your brand new team. So for example, Shaco's a new team captain for one of the teams, so he made a tryout post for all of these tryouts, and he's going to do tryouts like within the next 2 days, and he's going to put together a series of players that he likes. Now, I already did tryouts for one of these teams that I formed, and we played through 3 maps, and I got 6 people to attend, and we formed a team off of it. So it's rather nice. So once you get the roles, you want to try to look through all of these different sites. There's Overwatch Team Up, there's the Overwatch Reddit, and then there's all the different discords where you find players. Once you find all your players and you figure out your roster, which is more difficult than it sounds, you kind of have to do some fine adjusting, and you want to sort through the players that are dedicated to your roster and can show up to practices. So you have to kind of sort through that. And once you figure out the roster and you start playing together, you want to focus on whether you need to get a coach or designate who you need for shout calling, and just kind of having your team attend your practices and have a practice schedule. I'll give you an example. Like, this is just a blank practice schedule, but you would put like all of your players like on here or something, and then fill them out like Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and have different time zones and stuff that you're practicing on. Have a basic sheet like that to organize it. But once you're practicing, you're going to be focused on team synergy and just trying to figure out how to improve as a team. And that's going to be a lot of step 2. And sometimes you might need to make some replacements or cuts if people aren't showing to practice or they're not playing well with your team. And those can be some tough calls, but if you want your team to succeed, you got to do what's necessary to keep it at its best. And if players aren't as dedicated to it, then you need to make those adjustments. Now, once you have your roster steady and on a practice schedule, you can sign your team up for different tournaments and see how they do. And once you have a core roster, it's just coming together and improving as a team. So once you start doing that, you can start marketing your team on Twitter and building your brand for your team up, just advertising, to just building awareness of your team and that your team exists, and just getting scrim partners, getting good practice in, and that's pretty much it as a team manager. Like, that's really, you should always be looking for more opportunity for your team, but the most important thing is just to try to help your team out succeed in the best way possible. Now, those are all the resources that I can give for finding players as well as just managing your team. So our team agency, OWCraft, I know I'm plugging this, but it is on our channel, but OWCraft is a platform where team managers can use, as well as team captains, to create teams and look for their players, and then use our networking to find scrim partners and also find sponsors for your team, and just be on like a community system where you can find other teams to play versus, and also just be a part of the community. So there's resources that we give for our teams and our team managers. More can be found in the Discord and on our website, which will also be linked in the channel. Thanks for watching. I strongly recommend anybody that wants to be a team manager or team captain. Maybe it's right for you, maybe it's not, but you should give it a try if it's something you might be interested in, because there's a lot of need for team managers in the Overwatch scene right now, and I think the more talented ones and the ones that know like the resources that I shared and just how to find scrims for their team, a lot more teams will become successful, and I think that's something that's really needed in the Overwatch community, is the formation of teams that stick together and are well managed, and that will create a long-term scene, which is my overall goal. So thanks for watching, and I'm gonna make some more videos. I'm gonna make a team captain video and just a few more resource guides for different things in Overwatch, so stay tuned.